Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the EE Guru, and today we'll be working on Kirchhoff's voltage law example problems. If you haven't seen my previous video on Kirchhoff's voltage law, I recommend you watch that video first and then come back to this video and we could work on the example problems together. So let's dive right on into it. So the example problems ask us to write the Kirchhoff's voltage law equation for each circuit. So the first thing we have to do is we have to write down the Kirchhoff's voltage law equation. So this is the mathematical representation of Kirchhoff's voltage law. It states that the sum of voltage jump and voltage drop within a closed loop circuit is equal to 0. So this symbol right here is the summation symbol, and VI is just the voltage jump and voltage drops within a closed loop circuit. And that sum is equal to 0. So if we take a look at the first example problem, we see that we have a 6-volt voltage source in series with a 10 ohm resistor. I'm going to give you guys this time to pause the video and try to solve the first problem on your own, and then we can work on it together. So the answer for the first problem is 6 minus V1 is equal to 0. So notice that this is a positive 6, and I'm subtracting a V1. V1 is negative because V1 is a voltage drop, and the 6 volts is positive because that's a voltage jump. And we know that the 6 volts is a voltage jump because within a closed loop circuit, current will be flowing from the negative terminal into the positive terminal of this voltage source, which makes that voltage source a voltage jump. And we know that V1 is a voltage drop because current will be flowing from the positive terminal into the negative terminal of the resistor. So we know that V1 is a voltage drop. So moving on to the second problem, we see that we have a 5-volt voltage source in series with 2 resistors. There's a voltage drop across the 3 ohm resistor denoted with V1, and there's a voltage drop across the second resistor denoted with V2. So pause the video right now and try to solve this problem on your own, and then we can work on it together. So the answer to the second problem is 5 minus V1 minus V2 equal 0. Notice that the 5 volts is positive, V1 is negative, V2 is also negative because the 5 volt is a voltage jump, V1 is a voltage drop, and V2 is a voltage drop. And we just have to look at the symbols. So current will be flowing from the negative terminal of the 5-volt voltage source into the positive terminal. So that makes the 5-volt voltage source a voltage jump. But when current starts flowing into the 3 ohm resistor, it passes through the positive terminal and it goes into the negative terminal of the resistor, which makes this resistor a voltage drop. And then current goes into the 6 ohm resistor from the positive terminal into the negative terminal, which makes this 6 ohm resistor a voltage drop. So that's the answer right here. And moving on to the third problem. The third problem is a little bit tricky. We have 2 voltage sources, one 4-volt voltage source and another 6-volt voltage source. The important thing is to try to pay attention to the symbols, the plus and minus symbols of the electrical component within the circuit. So you guys should pause the video and try to answer this problem on your own, and then we can work on it together. So the answer to this problem is 4 minus V1 plus 6 minus V2 is equal to 0. And this is because the 4-volt voltage source is a voltage jump because current will be flowing from the negative terminal into the positive terminal. And V1 is a voltage drop because current is flowing from the positive terminal into the negative terminal. And the 6-volt voltage source is a voltage jump because current will be flowing from the negative terminal into the positive terminal. And V2 is a voltage drop because current will be flowing from the positive terminal into the negative terminal. So that's our answer right here. We can also simplify this answer by adding the 4 with the 6, and we get 10 minus V1 minus V2 is equal to 0. So both answers are correct. One is a simplified version of the other. So that's the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.